well, it's been a while, and a lot of things have happened, but here we are again. We're taking a break from, catching up with Seath the Scaleless because, like I said in one of the previous parts, I'm not sure, having a part consistently of me going through the entirety of the Crystal Caves and dying is too beneficial. But so we'll just continue to progress, just in a different way. We're back here at the Darkroot Garden, but we're not gonna take the way to Alvina as like the other time, but instead we're gonna take the way that hold on that had us finding the Grasscrest shield, you know, because there is some stuff that can be done in the near area. There we go. These garden areas are easily interconnected with each other, but you need a sort of a keen eye to actually, notice the convergence point. One is more easily accessible after you find Alvina and the hunters. The other is like in one of these crevices. There we go. Very good. And then you have to proceed through the steep. Again, much like with Blighttown, taking one step too further makes you basically fall onto your doom. So basically, you have to watch your step.
Like that bit, and then Matrix Path in Neo. Watch your step. Watch your step.
Well, Dweeb's dead glitch was intentional for intents and purposes.
Still weird.
Oh fuck, this is okay folks, here is another episode where I forgot to put things in English, so bear with me for a second.
No, keep it in Italian.
Yeah. Show must go on, because just like last time it would be too cumbersome to go on, so let's just roll with this.
Yeah, buongiorno.
Dweebs.
I don't know how to say the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you enjoy living?
For the sake of your fingers, as usual.
Okay, you know what? I'm half tempted that French language course I wanted to do when the pandemic subsides. I'm actually considering switching to Italian so that I can do it professionally and Tio won't be objective.
Anyway, we are in the Darkroot Basin, or as the title said, Giardino Radice Oscura, which is basically the same thing. And there are some crystal golems similar to the one in near the Crystal Caves, but there's also like a sinister presence in the lake in the distance. But for now, let's just defeat these golems, since they're easily dispatchable, and they don't hurt as much as the others. Fuck. There we go.
They still hurt though.
They still hurt, but not as much as the one in the Crystal Garden. There we go.
Okay, audience, in terms of what we've been, well, at least what I've been doing, in the
So Dweebs, yeah, just like with the Tandy Computer Whiz Kids, let me be the teacher. So Dweebs, how was your summer vacation?
I started watching One Piece.
Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, with the English dub, I assume.
Yeah, okay, to be specific, audience,
not the 40s
DVDs.
one.
Well, no. Although I have watched clips.
Oh shit! Okay, time to explain this. Sorry, Dweebs, I will have to hold you for a second. See, there's just one tiny problem with this basin.
Okay.
There you go. The lake just happens to have a fucking hydra in it, which shoots projectiles of water. It literally spits in my face, and these things hurt a lot. The good news is that they can hurt also the enemy. That's a good thing. But they make reaching the fucking thing a really bad time. Alright, let's see if I can do it without...
Well, I mean, this is its home.
Shut up, it's an eviction notice.
Which is death, apparently.
Pretty much. Now, here's the problem. Now that you're close to the Hydra, you need to sort of bait it, but you can't progress too much into the water, otherwise you will fall. So, trying to lure the Hydra near you is a bit tricky, because there's no telling when it will stop doing its stupid spitting move, for fuck's sake, and instead start getting closer.
Don't spit, it's rude.
There we go. Now it will do this kind of attack, and this will give you plenty of opportunity to start, there you go, cutting away. With sufficient energy, you can cut away one of its heads, and the fight can end in two ways. Deplete its entire health bar, meaning that if you have a bow and a lot of arrows and a lot of patience, you can actually snipe the shit out of it, or doing the way that I'm doing, waiting until the attack, there you go, it attacks on the ground, and then cutting all of their heads. If you manage to cut all their heads, all its heads before depleting the entire health bar, you will manage to kill it nonetheless. So it's actually a good strategy to try that if you have a good weapon like mine. The problem is that, like I said, you need to watch out for this fucking spitting move. Mind the Shiroi, this counts also for some reason as a magical attack. For some reason, which means that my shield, which bypasses my shield. I don't get it why a spitting move counts as a magical attack, but whatever.
It's magic
Whatever floats your
water or
boat, buddy.
something.
Alright, basically, so I'll continue where I left off.
Yeah, go on in the meantime, Reeves. I'll tell again once I kill the thing. Go on.
Alright, I believe I have, I'm up to like near episode, maybe, I think 14?
Well, good luck,
20, 20 maybe? I can't remember.
They
exactly,
start
but I
to
know
blur
I
after a point.
I know I finished the arc where they introduce Usopp, the one with the long nose.
Yeah, there you go. Here's the thing, Reeves. Good luck, like I mentioned, because the anime has a lot, and I mean a lot of filler. Mostly because it was going in conjunction with the manga, so of course it reached multiple points where it just stopped for good reason. There you go. Meaning that there's a lot of, filler but just there to fill in the hole, fill in the gaps. But to the point of where episode like 200, I think, of the anime, basically just covers. Oh, there you go. I think I killed. Oh no, again. Sorry. Episode 200 basically it sort of covers the end of one particular arc that in the manga is like one of the early ones. So you're in for a very long ride.
Well, I don't read manga, so I don't care. But,
well, no, I'm only telling you that to prepare yourself for the journey.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm already playing the journey.
Very funny.
In addition to watching the
still one head remaining.
In addition to watching the Funimation dub of the anime through my DVD, I've also been watching clips on YouTube of the
There we go.
widely beloved 4Kids dub.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get rid of your local Hydra. And we get a dragon scale, and
by making it watch 4Kids One Piece.
Yes.
Yes, it will die. It will die for exhaustion. And
Yeah,
the ring of the Princess Dusk. If I recall correctly, this ring basically is useful if you're a magic user because it like enchants like your spells or give you one additional. There you go. It gives you one additional spell, but it cuts your HP in half. But this is terrible even for a spellcaster. Why would you do that? Go on, Dweebs. Because
some of the 4Kids clips I watched were from episodes I haven't seen yet, but it was enough for me to get a general feel for how that dub was, and it's definitely got a lot of the 4Kids quirks, if you know what I mean. It has a soundtrack that doesn't bloody stop.
It's like way too over the top.
Well, it's all over. It's over the top, and it never stops. Not even for 1 millisecond. There's music on all the bloody.
There
time.
can be silence, you know.
Yeah, that's what she's needs a from constantly.
There's also rather silly voice acting. I mean, I know the show was kind of silly anyway.
All right,
but,
sorry, guys, keep going. I'm just doing a quick thing. Just don't worry for the stream; it will be fine.
But also, they have a lot of odd accent choices. Like sometimes they have characters that sound like Australians, or some characters that sound like they're from Texas. and so on. Some of the voice acting quality itself, in terms of acting, ranges from decent to VV.
There we go.
And by that, I mean there's a character in the show called Vivi, and she's meant to be a princess who tries to keep her kingdom held together, even though it's going through a rough time
Yeah.
at the minute. And her voice in the 4Kids version is guys, give me something give me something that's made out of wood that I could use as an expression.
Baseball bat?
Oak-ish?
Yeah. It's the performance is like an oak tree. It's that wooden. I mean, she's supposed to be.
Big, intrusive, but cute for botanist, I guess.
There's times when she's supposed to be scared, but she sounds bored half the time, which is baffling because I've heard her in other 4Kids dubs, and she's much better in those. Like she's a Shizu in Yu-Gi-Oh, and Karai in the 2003 Ninja Turtle series.
All
So
right.
I'm willing to bet, like all the other actors, he just got bad direction. And there's also all the censorship and
Yeah.
in fact they apparently they took the criticism Teo has of the anime to a rather absurd degree and just skip stuff.
Great. But if I recall correctly, we censored the guns by having them using pop guns or something at some point. But anyway,
Pop guns, water pistols.
anyway, hold on. Basically, by resetting the game like I did here, basically spawned a gold golem. These are different because if you look closely, the giant crystal grove that they pour on the back actually contains a prisoner. So let's free it from the clutches of this nefarious beast.
Although one thing I will say
There
in 4Kids One Piece's favour,
Mm-hmm.
the rap song at the beginning.
Alright, because I'm talking to this NPC, Princess Dusk of Ulasil. Basically, she's telling us that we saved her, she's very grateful, and as a result, she will now disappear for a second. She's supposedly a time traveler for some reason, because she comes from the past, but she will actually help us by selling spells from Ulasil. They're mostly useful for fucking around in multiplayer because it gave you particular perks like let's say yes, the chameleon like spells that allows your character to transform into a piece of environment. So basically, you control PvP players by baiting them in an area and then camouflaging into the area itself to have them aimlessly going around. Oh,
I've also
go on, Dweebs.
okay, so aside from One Piece, I've also been recently watching a show on Netflix called She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
It's the reboot of the
was it like 70s or 80s?
80s.
Okay.
But I've also been watching a few out of context clips from the 80s show to get a good sense of comparison as opposed to watching a full episode, which I won't be doing for a while yet.
Both that and the Even 80s show are fantastic in how heavy and sometimes very stupid they can be.
Although I gotta say, having seen the reboot first, going back and watching the 80s ones kind of gives me a lot of whiplash. Like Catra, for example.
Well, yeah, they pretty much do the 180 with her.
Yeah, I mean, going from a conniving, sassy yet dangerous, yet low-key dangerous character with the voice of Stevonnie in the recent show, to her yelling and screaming like a cat, and screeching all of her lines was just oof.
The audible screeching.
Yeah, basically half her dialogue was like, "I'm going to kill you, cat."
So basically a cat.
Yeah.
So clever, guys.
Yeah, Catra's design, even from the 80s series, just looks like someone who cosplayed as a cat for Halloween, but people forgot to tell her Halloween was over.
That's pretty much gist of it, Waves, because both that and the He-Man show were shows made just to sell toys, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, whereas this new one, from what I finished all of season 1, basically.
Like to be, a fucking show.
Yeah, the new one tries to tell an overarching story.
It's also a shame because the E-Man, I remember seeing the E-Man show of like the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, I remember watching the 80s He-Man on VHS.
They actually gave an origin story for the new E-Man show to Skeletor, and it's actually quite interesting.
Although it's interesting you mentioned that, Teo, because Netflix and Kevin Smith, of all people, are making a He-Man continuation of the 80s show.
I heard that, but it's something like split in two, because one there's a continuation and another it's a reboot entirely, which is odd. And not to mention there's like an upcoming live-action movie too coming around.
Yeah, but that's been in limbo for a while.
There we go. All right, we're back. We're back in the Alvina section of the Darkroot Garden. Like I said, easily connected thanks to a ladder. Now we're just doing some defoliation here because there's a lot of these hugging trees here, just to get some souls. Then we'll proceed because, again, like I said, there is a reason why we're back here. See, Shiri, you may not remember it because it was actually a long ago when we first arrived in these woods. Also, here's the set of Shiva, in case you want to cosplay as him. But there was a boss here, a wolf, that I just showcased here a bit. Sadly, now it's plot time to kill it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's drastic.
It sadly possesses an item that we kind of need to progress, The good news is that since we're in good terms with Alvina, we only have to deal with, the 3 hugging spirits and not the actual remaining hunters. Like Alvina said, we only become enemy again if I actually strike down one of the hunters, and I don't really need it. Normally, you really need it in the first place. Like, the only reason you might want to strike them again is you're really desperate for souls, to gather in souls, and even then, the rest of the monsters can actually give you a decent amount. And Shiva and his ninja bodyguard actually do have some equipment that you might want, but at the end of the day, you don't really need it anyway. So decide for yourself. Like, the thing is about this game is that at its end game portion, the very last bit, you can decide, since you don't really have anything to do, to just go genocide route and start killing NPCs left or right if you want. Nothing stopping you, but there's that. Anyway, Dweebs, let me ask a question since you said you watched. So, what's the English cast for the One Piece anime dub?
The Funimation one, you mean?
Yeah. Like, is there someone of the usual suspects?
It's their typical cast. Yeah, they have a few of them have been in Dragon Ball. I can't remember the names now, but a few of them have been in Dragon Ball.
Is Christopher
Chris Sabat?
Yeah, Chris Sabat. Is Chris Sabat in it?
Yes, I think so. Let me just see who he.
Yeah. In the meantime, look at that. We get to kill the tiny mushroom people again. Yay! Isn't it magical?
So you're killing Toad, are you now?
Yes, that's for all the greasy voices of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
Chris Sabat, he voices Zorro.
Oh, Zorro. That's
or Zolo.
Depends on the name. Honestly, I really don't understand all the different names that they did for.
Well, apparently actually there is an explanation for that. Apparently there was a copyright issue.
Oh, with the actual Mexican Spanish hero Zorro.
With Zorro, yeah.
Yeah, weird. Well, in general, I just discovered the other day that Luffy is supposed to actually be the original romanization name, while Rufy is the literal way it's written and the way it's pronounced in Japanese dub of the anime, and apparently it's used by non-English speaking European countries like mine or Germany, for example. Weird.
Although it's interesting, in English, in the English one, apparently one of Toei's mandates is that Luffy be voiced by a woman.
Well, yeah, I guess we wanted to
Even
have the
in
same.
even in English, although apparently in Italian, Luffy's voiced by a guy.
Oh, you don't, please don't get me started. I really don't like what they did for the Italian dub of the anime. Not in a sense of the people they picked. Most of them are fine. I don't really like this. Basically, Luffy. I'll just use the name for convenience sake. But Luffy. First of all, they named him Rubber for some reason, even though that's not what it's called in the manga, nor in the Italian version of the manga. They just call him like that. Although at some point, basically halfway through, they decided to just retcon it and just starting to actually call him Luffy. But because otherwise the images like with the bounties wouldn't not work. But then we decided to change his voice actor like in the middle of Annie's lobby arc. You're far from there, Gleaves, so don't worry about that. And the second voice actor they chose is the one that I keep constantly bringing up for personally not finding it good. He's the guy that voices the Italian version of Jibanyan, and he's the current voice actor of Sonic the Hedgehog, including in the live-action movie. I get it that he's a guy that loves his job, but I really think he doesn't know how to act properly. The only role that I actually like him voicing was Garrus in the Mass Effect trilogy, and that's literally it. Otherwise, he does a very, very sloppy job for most of his roles, and sadly, Luffy is one of them. I like everyone else, the one we did chose, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, and all that. They're fine. But no, in general, the dub of the Italian dub of the One Piece anime is also sloppy because due to having a lot of characters, it recycles a lot of voice actors if we have such a limited pool or range. So it can be sloppy a bit. Anyway, let's go kill the wolf.
I think you're not a huge fan of that bit.
Well, it's a commonly established soul-crushing moment. Oh fuck! In for the community, it's also very difficult because
dog sword.
Yes, it does that. Also, I think I forgot. I think I mentioned the first time we met. Seath, I think Seath is supposed to be female. It's never explicitly confirmed, but the name they used is taken from mythology for a female character, so the community generally runs on the idea that it's a female wolf. Still, we have to kill him because, it's protecting Sir Artorias' grave. Basically, what you need to watch out is the spinning around move. There you go, the one that he's doing, because... There you go. Otherwise, it will deal a lot of damage and knock you back. The standard combo attack is actually more easy to explode. For fuck's sake. It doesn't help that it's very, very fast. I wish I would have enabled co-op at this point, just so I could get some help here, but I'm confident that I can potentially do it again on my own. I did manage to get this boss alone on my own enough times. Fuck. It may not be one of those times. Let's see if I can pull this off.
Seath il Grandi Lopo Grigo.
Grigio. It means Seath the Great Grey Wolf.
Right. There you are, there you are. That's one benefit of to accidentally leaving the language.
There you go. See if I can poop the snoot with my sword. Damn it.
That's not how you poop the snoot.
It's a revolutionary technique. It's license proof.
The doggy doesn't want any injections. So...
Oh no. Damn it. It also doesn't help that this is one of the more crushing tracks. I urge you after we're done with this stream to actually search it on YouTube and give it a good listen because it's actually quite wrenching. It gives the idea of the fact that you're not really doing a good thing, but it's a necessity. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can...
They're gonna make you work for it at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. There you go. Yeah, one common strategy that people use is to hug, stay close to its legs. There you go.
I can see why.
It basically dodges most of the attacks.
So,
Avoid
It does screw up the camera though, Jesus.
Yeah, it makes the
Speaking of,
frame rate, against the frame rate to go apeshit.
So yeah, speaking of Zorro, was there an arc in One Piece where Zorro got turned into a giant wolf?
I guess holding the handle of a sword in your mouth is a common cool technique in media, not just the Japanese one. It's the common. It's basically an evolution of the common stereotype of a pirate holding a knife in its teeth.
Didn't Pokemon do it too with the recent gen?
I don't remember
One
that.
of the cover art Pokemon is a doggo.
Oh, right. The cover art for Pokemon Sword.
Yeah,
it makes
there we
sense.
go.
The other has the shield in its mane.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can also... Let's just say, Shirai, but this boss also has a sort... Not an Easter egg per se, but something that changes accordingly if I manage to pull it to critical health instead of actually killing it outright. Okay, Seath, I don't really have all day. Can you stop dancing around with this? Like, I don't really have time to play. Like, if
You're
wanna
trying to kill him.
yeah, sorry. Just stay quiet and please play fetch with my pointy sword. Remember, I'm a hero. I'm the chosen undead, for fuck's sake.
But I already have a sword.
There we go. I think we should be at that point. See, there you go. Now, there you go. Wait, thank you, Gabe. Thank you, PS4. I guess I need to turn my notifications off at too. But anyway,
Don't worry, Tio is blurred around here.
I know. It's still, you know, in cursive. There you go. Once you reduce it to critical health, she barely has the strength to go on. She literally needs to
so they're really gonna make you feel shitty.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, Shirai, we are the heroes.
And now you got a doggo oh, jeez.
Yay, go team.
Yay. At what cost?
Yes, let's just proceed. Well, anyway, we got one thing. The thing we got what we went here for: the Pact of Artorias, a ring that, as the description says, allows the wearer to traverse the abyss. This will be useful for the upcoming dungeon that we'll have to face. I'm not sure we will be able to do it here because it does require a bit of time. And as an extra challenge, the dungeon itself is the only one in the entire game that doesn't have bonfires in between, meaning that it has to be done in one go. And considering the boss is not the boss of that dungeon is not completely easy, I can feel already the frustration piling up for multiple attempts. So this is something that I will need to prepare for. For now, we can put 2 levels. So let's see, we already have a lot of things actually. Let's see, maybe resistance. At this point, yeah, at this point I might as well pump into. Stamina is fine for the most part. Maybe I'll just pump, where you go, 1 vitality and 1 strength because you don't have enough damage. There we go. Let's repair everything. And at least well, okay, what we can do is to actually give it a taste. At least because I can maybe open a shortcut for it. So why the fuck not? Let's move. Basically, this is the second dungeon of the 4 that I mentioned that we could tackle on. If you want to potentially know the truth before giving the Lord Vessel to Fremd, this will be the place you should be going first before doing anything else. But again, don't worry, like I said, I'll reveal all in due time, just not in the order that the game expects you to, because it's more fun that way. Or we need to take. All right, Weebs, prepare some elevator music, please.
Hang on, let me get
Yeah,
let me get
exactly. Just prepare because the elevator is still not arrived yet.
Okay, so let me get the keyboard up on here.
We're gonna have garage band elevator music.
Great. There we go. So majestic.
Very fitting for this universe.
Perfect. All right.
Lovely.
Moving on.
Bear in mind, I am not a trained. Well, I'm not trained. Well, I did have some practice, but it was years ago. So.
What are you doing? Dude, you okay? Okay. Just leave you there. Guess.
I'm getting the evil chords ready.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
thought I was going to jump out and surprise us.
No. Well, Dweebs, look at that. This guy just loves to have a sexy pose instead, for some reason.
Ooh. Well, I don't know about him, but I got a sound on my thingy prepared for that occasion.
All right, I forgot. I actually forgot if we talked to this guy already. But in case this is a blacksmith, and if you have embers tied to crystal or magic, you can actually give it to him. But we don't. I think either I gave it to him already, or we already have it. But if you want, if you want to evolve your equipment to magical or crystal-like, you can go to this guy. But to be honest, we don't really need it. If you're doing for a mage build or mage equipment, you might as well just stick to the one that the game gives you, because it's better that way. Anyway, let's see if he shows up here.
Alright, for future bits where elevator music is required, I'll just record some in advance.
Alright, now you may I forgot if you remember or not, but the Crestfallen Warrior, you know, the guy that has helped us since the beginning, since we arrived in the Firelink Shrine, has gone missing for a while now, ever since I think we gave the Lord Vessel to Tramp. So let's see if we can find him here. Well, hold on, let me see if I can pull my the binocular. He's actually there. Maybe he can actually give us some tips in to get to this dungeon. And oh no, he has gone hollow. Basically, when an NPC actually goes hollow for story reason, it means that he cannot talk to us anymore. He is basically a mindless beast and needs to be put down. Fortunately, the Crestfallen Warrior is actually not completely easy to handle. He has a terrible, chainmail set, meaning that he's low and doesn't actually do a lot of defense, but he can actually parry your attack, so basically watch out. There we go. Ah, damn it. And anything doesn't have that much health, meaning that, there you go, you can just mash it through him. There we go. He doesn't even actually get, like, the defeated line. It's actually sad how his story ends. You'd think that it would build up to actually some characterization, but no, the guy generally just goes hollow and dies like that. It's a sort of a recurring theme from the Souls game that the Crestfallen Warriors are really, like the title says, warriors that have fallen from grace, and as such had to repent for their lives, but in true Souls-like fashion, nothing really goes well for them, sadly. And when let's pick an S-Stock, not really interested in that. They put some basic weapons here because it might be the chance you actually get here first before doing anything else. So they actually do give you a good chance. We also get some transitory curse. These particular items, which we'll need to use right now, there you go, it basically says that it gives you a temporary curse to interact with ghosts. What does this mean? It gives you a debuff similar to curse, but without the negative sides, and allows you to actually damage ghosts. Why is this important? Because as you can imagine from that, this dungeon, at least the first part, is chock full of ghosts. And unless you're using this or a specific type of weapon, you cannot actually damage them. And your sword will just pass through them. And these ghosts can be quite nasty. They swarm you and have very long range with their creepy long arms. So it's best if you pull this off and actually deal with them easy enough. Anyway, this place is called New Londo in the English version. For some reason, in the Italian version, they call it Petit Londo, which means little Londo. I don't know if it was like that for the Japanese version or not, but sure, fine enough, I guess. Anyway, there you go. By going, oh shit. First, let's deal with these ghosts first. Here we go. I ain't afraid of you. There you go. By going through this steep, there you go, walking thing here, we should be able to... Oh, I already got it from here? Oh, basically, sorry, it's a thing that I already got off screen. Basically, if you didn't, you will find here one of the souls that actually power up your Estus Flask, so, you know, it's good for power-up purposes. Anyway, let's proceed forward. Alright. The thing about this is, as the lore suggests and will tell you more later, is a city that is basically without any sort of manageable light, only these ghostly lights. There you go. And it has, like I said, no bonfires at all. That's because it's a city that has been flooded, at least partially. You will know more about it later, thanks to lore and stuff, of course. But the important bit is that this was... Oh shit! This is a place where a lot of casualties happen for a reason, you know. And as such, the ghosts who roam around the area the ghosts that roam around the area are the people who were here, obviously. Anyway, there you go. One of the reasons why the city is flooded is because most of its contraptions do not work at right now, meaning that... Hold on. Meaning that we will have to unlock something later on. In the meantime, though, we have to slaughter the ghost. Thankfully, unlike if you know what you're doing, thanks to the, you know, to using the transitory curses items, you know, the ghosts are easily manageable even with a low power weapon. But they can catch a new player off guard very easily. They are a beginner's trap full and through. Let's see if something shows up here. Yep, there it is. You mother... Get here. We also have a grab move, because the last thing, in true Japanese horror fashion, they love to grab you and pull you close enough to, like, bite you. It's very reminiscent to stuff like The Grudge.
Ugh.
Also, they have a variation, Banshees, meaning that, there you go, that if they see you, they will scream at you.
Good thing this is muted.
Well, for me, it's sure it is. Anyway.
Yes, Teo has to deal with this.
I left the volume low enough so it doesn't... it will be fun for the stream, though. But anyway, also, Dweebs, while I'm traversing here this fog gate, someone has left comments. Can you check if they're spam bots or not?
Let me see. I don't see any comments on the stream chat.
Alright then. I guess it's just potential spamming, whatever.
But Tia, you did give me a couple of ideas for elevator music I can record ahead of time.
That's to know, I guess.
So it's just so I don't have to come up with like generic stuff that 8-year-olds will probably come up.
Okay.
And I say that I'm pretty sure there's some famous composer who did a really well song younger.
Anyway, this is a potential shortcut if you want, but if we keep going, we will manage to unlock a more decent one to go through. We're actually already at a good point, but There we go. Now we need to pass the spooky bridge. Not really spooky, but it has more
It's
ghosts
dark.
roaming
It's
around.
more spoopy.
Yes. It has actually
Spoopy.
still ghosts.
Not quite spooky, but it can still be rather
Where are you?
tense.
Oh, there it is. What are you doing there? The problem of the ghost is that they also move kind of in 3 dimensions, meaning that they can like go up and down and all around. Oh fuck! The curse is lifted. For fuck's sake! Fuck! Let me ingest these hand thing. There. Peace off. Rest in pepperonis. Alright, okay, now the stupidest part of the first half of Petit Londo, sorry. The Fun House of Horror. It's called like that because the entirety of this building is chock full of ghosts. Yes, the one trick pony that this dungeon loves to have is to have enemies swarming you constantly from all over the place, or from the same 1-2 types. It gets better for the second half, but yeah, this first half is just like Jesus. There we go. Alright. Actually, might as well ask a themed question. Like, we're still far from Halloween this year. God, it's already like 1 year since we started this, I think. But, Blibs,
Yeah?
did you play any particular horror game with Ghost in it, like Fatal Frame? Although in Europe it's called Project Zero.
I don't really... I don't really play horror game.
Not even the more, like, the lighter one, like, say, Luigi's Mansion?
No.
Okay, no, that's okay, Blibs.
Well, I mean, I couldn't. Well, the main reason that, like what almost everyone else on planet Earth, I had a PS2 around that time, not a GameCube.
I'm actually one of those heretics, and I know what I'm saying because I know that that game has gained these, big status. That actually tried Resident Evil 4 when it came out on the PS2, and did not really like it.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. From what I've heard about that game, it's either the best Resident Evil game that has a lot of stuff that was perfected from the earlier ones, or it was the start of the series' decline.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that it was literally the first Resident Evil game that actually wanted to sit down and try, because I was saying, okay, I haven't tried the one on the PS1, but this one was like, a bargain bin, so might as well give it a go. And the experience was not optimal for me. I promised myself to give it an actual try with like the PS4 version, since it's the more optimal one, because, European PS2 games were not the clear experience most of these games were meant to be played as. But yeah, unfortunately for the original version, I was actually one of the people who basically should be thrown out the window for that opinion. But like I said, I promise that I will try to, give it an actual honest to God chance.
Well,
Yeah.
Also Tio, have you played Resident Evil 1?
No, not yet. Again,
Well,
like I said, that was my only major Resident Evil experience.
Well, clearly, Tio, where you played the inferior game, Super Mario 64 is better than that in every single way.
Okay, now I'm curious. How does that correlate to?
It was a reference to that time that gaming in the Clinton years
I
decided
didn't know that.
decided to make a versus video and compare Super Mario 64
To Resident
to
Evil.
Resident Evil because they're
Those
both
are
so similar.
those are exactly the same game.
Definitely. There are fools in Super Mario 64, therefore it is spooky. Okay.
Yeah, like
Alright.
apparently, at least according to George Wood, Mario has a free rotating camera, but according to him, you can only move the camera in Resident Evil at certain points, even though you never can. Apparently, Resident Evil has more voices, but Mario and everyone else is mute, even though that's also not
Not
true.
true. Yeah.
And and apparently the puzzle solving in Resident Evil is really frustrating, even though at least one of them involves maths.
How dare I think.
And that's
Anyway,
it. That's all he says, by the way.
yeah. Anyway, on top of the funhouse, you will find this fellow. If you actually talk to him after you're given the Lord Vessel to Frant, he will actually talk to you in good terms, knowing what you're supposed to do, and giving us the key that we need to proceed to, use to proceed. If you don't, if you haven't gotten the Lord Vessel yet, you will have to kill it to actually get it. But and it's not really easy for a low level player. So the good news, however, if you want, like I said, if you want to know the truth, just possessing the Lord Vessel will be fine. Um, the key point is
Is the spoken audio in Italian?
no. Of the From Software games, of the Souls-like, the only ones who have been voiced in Italian of this particular category are Bloodborne and Sekiro. I don't know if the the supposed remake that Bluepoint is making of Demon Souls will also feature Italian dub. Who knows? Maybe. Um, but I can't. But like I think I mentioned this in the past. But the reason why the main Dark Souls games are not voiced in Italian and just with the text is because Bandai Namco doesn't tend to localize in terms of voice acting also for Italian. They just limit themselves to the basics. Anyway, let's proceed forward because it's time to unlock the shortcut to use.
If you need a time check, Tio, we're 47 minutes.
Alright, I guess, yeah. I can just unlock the shortcut, do what I need to do, and we'll call it a day because, like I said, it would be tough for us to proceed through the entire dungeon like this. So let's just try to find the door that we need to. There you go, it doesn't move. Yeah, there you go, there it is. By using the door was sealing this particular contraption. So let's pull the lever and see what happens.
Wrong lever!
Thankfully, it's only one. It actually opens a door that connects to another potential area, which opens another big shortcut potentially, which removes the flooding of the lower levels, meaning that now we can traverse to the lower levels and if we need to revisit the dungeon, basically skip the entire portion with the ghost. Believe me, it's a godsend to not having to do all of them again. But let's just give you a sneak peek of what's to come, and then we'll just teleport back to the Firing Shrine.
We're gonna jump into the pit and be cut to like something that's like
Teosunny died on the way back to his planet. I don't know.
It's like it'd be like the continue screen you get in one of the Mortal Kombat games where you're falling down the pit, and if you don't press continue in time, you splatter onto a bed of spikes.
So, since it was a flooded area, let's see what's the first thing that greets you once you exit in the place where it was clearly flooded, and oh shit, it's a literal mountain of corpses.
Ew.
That's a pleasant sight. Also, on the door when we open, there are wyverns roaming around. Let's not disturb them, please. And instead, there's this odd-looking fella charging against us that is cosplaying as a Kiss member, I guess. Oh shit, it's very fast. Thankfully, he's still not too much of a match for us, but yeah, not exactly the pleasant fellow. This, I think the right name is a Dark Wraith. Basically, these are people that suck away your humanity. That's their job, 24/7. Anyway, I think that's a good point to end. I'll teleport to Firing Shrine off screen, so let's conclude here with this, majestic sight on the corpse here. Alright. until next time for more shenanigans in New Londo. So until then, see you.
See ya.